What's up, y'all? Back again with the cooling side of the video. I already got the duct thing put in, everything, and the oil cooler set up. But really the important part of this video is the water pump, the hoses, and the fan choice. All right, now, really and truly, you shouldn't be spending ridiculous amounts of money on LS swaps, all right? So I'm here to just get you to spend about 200 bucks and your cooling could be done, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the last owner, Brandon. I don't know if it was Brandon or one before that, but it's a Z3M radiator on here already, all right? It's a 3-core or 3-row, 3-pass, 3 something. I'll put the radiator in the description so you guys can pick that up. I know it's a common upgrade for E36s whenever they have to change the radiator anyway, so you might have it on there already. But upgraded radiator in stock form, stock dimensions. I bolted the oil cooler on the bottom of it. That'll be in a separate video because that's for the dry sump system. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take this out, show you guys the fans I chose and the water pump, and let's get into it. All right, so the water pump. Got this off eBay, all right? It's a brand new water pump. It has just been sitting somewhere. It's corroded. You can see it is GM. Brand new, has not been run. But yeah, like I said, and this was even worse. I cleaned it up a little bit. I don't have anything like white vinegar or what else cleans up aluminum? I guess McGuire's, stuff you can buy off the shelf, AutoZone, whatever. But brand new, turns freely. Everything should be fine. And I have a bunch of, I have to dig in one of these boxes, but I have a bunch of thermostats and everything. I'll probably not run a 160 degree on here because it does snow here in the winter and it is not too crazy hot during the summer. So I might do like a 185, keep the temps around 190, 195, we'll see. But get you one of these off eBay, all right? They sell them in crate form. They come straight off crate engines, all right? When these, you know, crazy builds put in electric water pumps or whatever. But this has just been sitting, like I said. I offered the guy 80 bucks. It was like posted for like 130. I offered him 80. I feel like I could have offered him 50. He would have took it off eBay. And it got here in like 2 days. So definitely, that's what I do on every build, all right? This is just the first one that was corroded. Usually I pay around 80 to 100 bucks for just new ones, sparkling, but who cares? We're here to save some money. Now let's move on to the fans. All right, so some of y'all recognize these, all right? These are the old trusties, the tried and true. I mean, I personally have put these in the Genesis. Y'all know I'm Mr. Frankenstein. I put a GTO radiator. Well, I put my Genesis radiator in the GTO because they fit, the fans fit. I use this in a Genesis, and probably some other build I'm not thinking about. But these are the tried and true. The official flow numbers I could not find, but they seem to be around 4,000 CFM, probably around 3,000, 3,500. I know they flow a shit ton, okay? And this luckily came with the harness, all right? I paid $120 for this off of eBay, and much of that was shipping. So if you can get these locally, I mean, I've gotten them for 60 bucks. You probably can find them for 80, even less if they're local to you, you know what I'm saying? But I just bought this from a junker, I guess, a wreck part out fucking company on eBay. So point being, about 100 bucks, and boom, you have a shroud and 2 fans that will outflow any Flex-A-Lite or whatever, not named Spall, because I almost bought a Spall that was about 200 bucks. It was like 187, not including tax and shipping, for just a big single 16, all right, 16 inch. So boom, 80 bucks for the water pump, 120 bucks for the thing, 200 bucks. 200 bucks, you got your cooling system figured out, okay? You're not having to buy a aftermarket shroud for 100 bucks, 200 bucks on a Spall, because you don't want to use any cheap fans on these swaps, okay? Or even in a regular build. But like I said, I got the Fbody fans, and I got the harness with it, luckily. And now let me go ahead and pull out the radiator and show you guys what I'm working with. Okay, so again, this is just a stock Z3M S54 radiator. You know, the stock E36 radiator is 34 millimeter, right? And it's a 2-row. So I don't know if you want to use just a straight up stock E36. It may work, it may not. but this is actually 42 millimeter core, and it is a 3-row. All right, so I have no problems using this because it kept the straight 6 iron block cool. So boom, you can see the size. Let me show you guys. This is what inspired me to try this out, because the dimensions are pretty much the same. All right, now you may have some overhang of the fan on each side, but it's not gonna be a problem at all. Let me just do a quick little test. See what I'm working with. Oh yeah. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is just mark out where I need to cut, sort of clearance. So I pretty much cut out what I needed to, but here's some tips. You see these, my favorite little cutoff tools are all gummed up. I don't know how well you guys can see that. All right, they are gummed up, they are ineffective. And what I pretty much did is I cut out for the hoses, and in the very bottom had a big lip on it. I cut that off, cut that out. It's just a ridiculous size lip on it. And in the front has the same thing. So I'm just gonna use these to cut them off. All right, I'm just gonna cut this lip up here, cut it all out. I'll probably cut these tabs off as well to get it to sit nice and flush. And then I'm going to attempt to fish out those foam little pads. And if I don't have them, oh well, it's gonna have to, you know, rock like that, but let me cut these out. All right, this is the foam I was talking about real quick. I'll probably end up using this stuff. I have plenty of it seems like, to get this job done. I don't have very much of this, and it's so thick. So I'm gonna just try and see what gaps I need to fill, if any. But this should be fine. So we'll cover that later on. We'll see. Here we go, y'all. This is probably, I didn't expect it to be this perfect, right? Now, there are tabs on the bottom of this radiator, all right? Again, this is a Z3M radiator. I believe these tabs are for the oil cooler. Correct me if I'm wrong, you E36 gurus. But look, I just had to clearance these little ribs right here, and it sits right in the bottom, all right? And that's why I cut this lip off. Now, while we're on this topic, that thick lip I have, I can use this to seal it, or I may not. I don't know, that little thick, I said lip. The thick weather strip foam. If I wanted to, I could seal this off. I'll probably leave it open and seal the other sides. All right, seal the sides. Because that's a pretty thick foam to be putting straight on the fins. So I may just leave that open. So yeah, it hooks in the bottom there perfectly. You see that clearance around, you guys can do a better job than me, But clearance around there, Now, this part I'm gonna clearance away, right, to make way for this little hole. And I am not gonna hold you guys. I may just use zip ties to get those in there. All right, because this is, it's not threaded. I thought it was threaded for some reason, but it's not. So I'm just gonna zip tie it right in like that, and boom. There we go, easy peasy, y'all. Okay, one more thing. So I got it zip tied. All right, it's not going anywhere. All right. And also, I went ahead and insulated it, okay? So, like I said before, the sides don't really need insulation. Those things are good. But the bottom, I went ahead and added some more insulation. Small gap, but you know, it rests in here. All right, so there was a small little gap, so I just sandwiched this in there for airflow control, I guess, but doesn't need it. I've run plenty of swaps without insulating the radiator, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. Now let's go install them for real this time. All right, so real quick, I had to pull this back out, and I showed y'all the pictures already, what I had to clearance so it'll sit in the mounts. All right, everything's on. The clips are in on that side and this side. But yeah, y'all see, even with the oil cooler on it, everything comes in and out. I don't have to touch any accessories. It comes in and out, right? So yeah, y'all see, it's almost like a match made in heaven. You see? And one thing with this hose over here, there's even a clamp for it. Maybe I'll be able to get it to sit right here and then come back in here. But we'll see. I just wanted to show you guys, it can come in and out, you know, since I had to fix that problem anyway, with no problems, okay? It looks closer than it is, all right? There's plenty of space, okay? Nothing will come past this part, all right? The only accessory that's not on is the alternator, and I'll cover that in the wiring. So I just want to show you guys, this thing is like, it's perfect, okay? It's perfect. All right, so these are the only ones I could find. I thought I had a third one, but depending on the vehicle, I know one is from a Vet, one is from a GTO, but one sticks out to the side, straight out to the side. And one comes at more of an angle, so I'm gonna use this one that comes at more of an angle. Hopefully that came up well on the, one sticks out like this, one sticks out more at a downward angle. All right, you can see much better, okay? This one goes straight out to the side. So it's gonna be kind of shitty to find a hose that fits properly. And this is all beat and old, so this is definitely from my GTO, okay? If I remember correctly. This one here goes at a downward angle. May not matter much to some of you guys, but those little details make it easier. So let's see if we can find a hose to fit. All right, so y'all see I have a bunch of random hoses I kept from, you know, all these various swaps I've done. And this hose, I already cut it down a little bit. It looks to be the closest fit I have for this little radiator. And if I put this like this, like that, maybe it'll cut this down and get that on there. Yeah, so let's see if I can work some magic. All right, I had to take it out just to get this hose on. The outside diameter of the hose and the lower radiator hose spout, or whatever you call this, they were the same just about. So I had to use a little small flathead, a lot of Dawn dish soap, get it on, pop the side I was trying to go in out, and just sandwich it on. Now let me go ahead and try to put this on in the car, because the dish soap will give you a couple minutes to maneuver it back and forth because it's so tight on there, but before it dries off and it makes a good seal. So, all right, so it's been a bit of a fight, but we're pretty much right there. All right. And I hate that this video does nothing, or this part of the video does nothing for y'all, because I don't know what this hose came off of, okay? Might have been a 300ZX, I am not sure. I will try to look at some hoses and get that for you guys. But the lower one is done. I just gotta put the thermostat and everything in there and put it in and put some bolts in it. Yeah, y'all hear I'm kind of out of breath. This thing kicked my ass because everything's so tight, but should see pretty good. Nothing's really binding or gonna wear over time, so hopefully this hose holds up in case I ever gotta change the radiator or anything. So let's move on. Okay, so narrowed it down to a couple hoses. I got this hose right here and this one, okay? So put that to the side. This is the filler neck I will be using. Now, all right, this is it right here. It's a little, nothing too fancy. I might hit this with some black spray paint or something, but pretty much it's gonna sit right about here. That'll be perfect if it's right here actually. So what I'm gonna try to do is use this here. Let me slip this on. All right, because this angle's over, then I can attach this here, just about, and then trim this down to size on this side and have it like right here, okay? Right off of it. So that's the plan. Let's see where it ends up going, all right? All right, so I still have to put the hose clamps on and stuff, but this is pretty much what I got. I gotta tilt this up a little bit so it'll push the radiator cap as the highest point. Right now, it doesn't really look like it, but it is the highest point in the system. Especially when I turn this side up and that side, but also wrapping this video up. Here's this has been on all my swaps, I'm pretty sure. So it's ugly, it's pretty beat, but I will mount it right there. Just about, I'm just not gonna do it right now. And there it should look just like this. So hopefully this gives y'all some kind of something to go by, you know. Hopefully this has been helpful. I'm sorry I can't do more about this, giving you guys a reference. I will try to look back in my, I don't know, hoses for the 300ZX. I believe that came off the 300ZX. But you see plenty of space. Because this radiator is capless, you have to put an inline one in. Some of y'all may want to use the OEM bottle. I did not want to. Maybe that's a thing. I'm not sure if that's a thing with this car. I wasn't gonna deal with it. I was just gonna do that. So y'all let me know what y'all think. All right, so pretty much we're at the end. I apologize. I left a lot of parts of this open simply because I wish I could, you know, give y'all something better than just a guess on what this is. I'm gonna loop the lines because I am not running heat or AC. All right, or maybe I run heat later on. Like I said, this is up higher than the radiator is. All right, so it doesn't really look like it from here, but I gotta put clamps on these as well. Once I get everything finalized, the radiator is not moving again though, that's final. It's insulated here, everything's fine. I've run swaps with just a fan attached to the radiator, all right, it's fine. I may take a piece of aluminum or something just to cover this up, you know, trim this a little better. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, just to cover this up, looks wise, all right? But it's sealed up. It's gonna perform great. You know what I'm saying? Everything fits, plenty of space. And like I said, these are Corvette spacing, so you can see there's a shit ton of space through there. All right, so I only spent $200 on everything. Okay, the F-body fan, I could have spent $150, but I'm in New Mexico. If I was back in Arizona, F-body fans pop up frequently for $40, $50, $60 in part outs. $50 of it was shipping. Okay, so I paid $120 for the fans. They flow about 3,500 CFM. Some people say 4,000, some people say 3,200. I know it's in the 3,500 range because they look like they're about the same size as a Spall, you know, one of the Spall 13 inches, and those push about 1,800. So they'll flow for anything you need. You throw out a boost, whatever. It should be more than enough. All right, in my experience, I use it in other swaps before. The water pump, like I said earlier in the video, is a crate takeoff in eBay. Okay, it was $80. I'm sure if I offered a guy $50, he would have took it because I do it often. Okay, all my swaps have had crate takeoffs. Why spend $400 when you could spend $200? You know what I'm saying? That's the point of LS swaps, especially this YouTube channel, caveman mentality. All right, it works. May not be the prettiest, may be dirty, may have to clean it up, whatever. All right, I'll take it. I'll make it work. So the upper radiator hose, that's where I put the radiator cap adapter because the Z3M Radiator does not have a radiator cap on it. All right, there's no provision for it. They use a reservoir with a radiator cap on it, and I want to delete that. It's bulky, it's ugly, so that's why I did this. It is the highest point in the system. It's just higher. It's a little bit higher than the radiator. It may not look like it in the video, but it's higher, so it shouldn't be a problem with bleeding and bubbles. Okay. Yeah, man. If you can save a buck, do it. And this goes beyond just E36. I mean, if you can do this in any other swap, I've done it in the Genesis. I hope this helps somebody out there. Okay. Y'all know, as always, any questions, comments, tips, hit me up in YouTube, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Instagram. You know, y'all do that anyway. All right. And I appreciate the feedback and reaching out with questions. Okay. Oh, one last thing. I might grab some metal just to cover up like the jaggedness. I don't know if you guys probably can't see it from here, but you noticed it earlier. Just to cover up the jaggedness of this. As far as airflow and insulation, I put it in the top. The top is real solid. The bottom's okay for about as long as that foam lasts. It may fall off one of these days on the road, but you know, it won't bother me. I've had swaps with the radiator with no shroud. The fan fixed right to it and it's been fine, okay? The ducting is in here. The bottom, the bumper has, I can't remember what it's called. It's like a, I don't know, man. It's metal that extends back. I can't remember the kit from the company. So airflow is gonna be focused on the radiator and the oil cooler. So it's not gonna be a problem as far as cooling at speed, okay? Especially at idle, everything's gonna be fine. So save your money if you can. The alternative was getting a shroud for $100 off eBay or something, and a 16-inch Spall, which is gonna be like $190 before tax and shipping, okay? So, and then a new water pump would be $180 itself as well. So if you can penny pinch, still be effective, still have plenty of space, then do that, all right? Yeah, y'all take it easy. Till next time.